Man, y'all need to start tuning in to the YouTube channel, The Bengals Genius Show.
Bengal Genius with you, getting ready for a big pivotal week, and I wanted to just calm everyone down, and most importantly, calm my Bengals down, and remind everybody, a little bit of a throwback week. Look at this here. See this? Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson, I know you Bengal fans, you old timers know who Kenny Anderson is, but when I first started loving the Bengals, 1981, Kenny Anderson led the team to the Super Bowl and all that, and he was the man. And it made me think back to the game of football is, to me, the most beautiful, perfect game in the world. It's like chess. It gives you metaphors for life, like, you know, when to slow down, when to speed up, when to spread things out, when to take it easy, when to stress. I mean, there's a million examples from NFL that I apply when I'm giving lessons to my kids or whatever. You know, finding a woman, you want to get a good quarterback. You want a franchise quarterback, or the list goes on and on. And sadly, what happens is that, okay, football is this beautiful, honest thing. And then there's all the other parasites and leeches that connect, that want to just suck off of football. And it's unfortunate, but if you've ever been around it, you see it. You can see it from the NFL Network to the 10 trillion commercials to all the advertisements they squeak in, to the Super Bowl, how it's 10 hours long, and there's just like there's an advertisement everywhere, and there's the football people that love the game, and then there's the leeches and creeps that just are sucking every dime out of the game. And the reason I bring this up is that right now, because the Bengals had this success, there is, you know, a lot of guys, because you do have to look at the business side of it to an extent. But once you've been paid, though, I really feel like right now this team is kind of lost the beauty of the game itself. And they have a lot of injuries, but all teams are going to have injuries as the season goes along, so we're just going to have to deal with that. So that's not an excuse. You got to get back to why you love the game. I look back at Joe Burrow and that's his second season, and Jamar Chase's rookie year, and everyone was just so fired up for what they were doing, what they were, you know, coming in there. They were going to turn around the Bengals, and then it was a magical season, and we're going to the Super Bowl, everybody. It's going down, and it was an amazing year, and of course they fell a little bit short. And then, of course, that's when all the mosquitoes come, and they're in everybody's ear like, it's a business, and you got to get paid, and you got to get paid this and that. And then it's easy to say, if Joe Burrow's paid, then this guy wants to get paid, and on it goes. I get it, but you can't disrespect the game itself. And there are fundamentals that need to take place, like tackling and just the little things, taking care of the little things during the week. And hopefully you players realize what that is. Now, right now we sit at 0-3. The sky's falling. Everyone's freaking out. Just a year ago, okay, Sunday's game against Carolina is no gimme. You know Andy Dalton wants to stick it right up our booties for what happened to him back in the day. So he is riled up, ready to go. But this Bengal team, come on, we got to focus and just go in there and roll them boys. Okay, this is you know, that has to happen. And let's assume we win this game, which I believe we will. We're 1-3, which was the same as last season. And then we got on a roll. So I know everyone's freaking out and we have the worst defense ever and all that stuff, but Miles Murphy is supposed to come back next week. Yeah, it was a 4 to 6 week injury a month ago. You're going to have, at some point, we are going to get BJ Hill back. Chris Jenkins is going to develop. Mims is going to get better as the season goes along. They're going to get more in a groove. They're going to figure it out. It's not like all of a sudden Zach Taylor, Lou Anarumo have no idea how to coach and they're just dummies all of a sudden. So let's just relax a minute and and all this talk about no team's done this or that. It's only been 2 seasons of 17 games, okay? So we don't know, right? It might happen every year where a team starts 0-3 with a 17-game season. We don't know. We're going to find out. So we'll get back to the fundamentals of things, and just that's what we have to do. And look at the bright side from last week for that Monday night. Now, the defense really was in rough shape, but I just have a hard time believing that Lou Anarumo all of a sudden doesn't know how to coach a defense. So they will improve as the season goes along. The secondary, Geno Stone, I see him going back and forth with Bengal fans on Twitter. Don't do that. I mean, the Bengal fans that are going to rally up on Twitter, there's always an asshole that's around. You can't fall into that stuff because it's a no-win situation for you. Just relax. I told them just, when things turn around, you just block the guy, and that's the end of it. So the secondary needs to get a little more cohesion. The tackling definitely needs to improve. I don't know how it relates to the collective bargaining agreement, what you can do in terms of practice and tackling, but that definitely needs to be done. But the offense made strides. McPherson, my man, come in my office here, son. I get it, you're a kicker and you don't want to get hurt, but you got to make a little bit of a effort with Eckler there, and he's running that return back. Just a little something. Just go for it. Just flop down, aim low at his ankles or something, but don't just do whatever you did there. That was a little rough. But, between the missed field goal and, there were opportunities. Now, if the defense is going to take a little while to get it going, then it is a valid point that the Bengals need to be flawless every drive. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes right now. Okay, but looking around the entire league, though, as we sit here, 0-3, Buffalo, 3-0, Chiefs, of course, Vikings, Steelers. Now, what's interesting about the Steelers, it didn't make much sense to me, and I don't know how Vegas knows this stuff, but the Steelers are still have higher odds to make it to the Super Bowl than the Bengals. So the Bengals are 3-0. So what that means for you non-gamblers out there is Vegas is saying it's more likely the Bengals win the Super Bowl than the Steelers, which is interesting. So, but that tells you something because they always are right. So everyone just needs to relax. There's a lot of season left. There's going to be injuries, surprises, teams getting better, teams getting worse, and all that kind of stuff. And in our division, the Steelers are a team to beat, obviously, but we play them 2 times, and we're going to have to step up. But before we get to any of that stuff, we get back to fundamentals. Burrow Chase. I got to imagine at one point at LSU, you guys are sitting there talking about, I don't know what your lifestyles were like back at LSU. Forget the second year when you guys are blowing all the records out. Picture, you guys are sharing an apartment or dorm with a couple other guys. You probably have no money. I don't think the NIL was. I don't know if you're getting bags of money dropped off at this point, but think back to when you didn't have any money at all, okay? And you guys love the game itself. Get back to that feeling. The money's going to come. The money's going to be there. It don't matter. If you couldn't manage $25 million, you ain't going to manage $200 million. I get it. You pay what you're worth, blah, blah, blah. The money's going to come. But get back to the love of the game and all the little things, that teamwork and teammates and that brotherhood. That's what makes football so great. I'm watching my son right now play, and these guys, they become brothers, and that's what this team needs to do right now. They need to form a brotherhood. The Bengals need to bond. I don't know, man. Go to the golf place or whatever. Where's that? Where they I don't know what it is. Top Golf. Go to Top Golf. Something. I don't know. Go play. Do some team building events. Don't go to no white. Stay out of P. Diddy's house. Don't be the new P. Diddy. Stay out of the white parties or whatever they're called. And just get back to rediscover the love of the game that you guys used to have. Okay? And then practice hard this week. Let's get it going and get back to fundamentals. We win one game, the whole perception changes. Among the players, among the fans, everybody. We just have to see it happen. And the Bengal fans, relax a little bit, okay? We lost 3 games by 1 possession. Could things be a lot better? Yes, of course they can. But things could be a lot worse. So at least the offense woke up. Burrow put up good numbers. The running game was moving. The defense, yes, was terrible. Jaden Daniels, by the way, is like a Lamar Jackson who can throw. Very impressive. But that's still no excuse to not give up 1 punt. But we're going to move on. We're moving on, and that's what this is, okay? Now, listen, I am starting a Patreon. I'm a huge fan of Matt and Shane Secret Podcast. It's the greatest. So they had a Patreon, and I'm not saying I'm those guys, but I like that idea. I don't like, the problem is if you advertise a gambling thing, you got to be like nonstop. Gamble, bet, this, that, my code, and all that. I don't even feel like dealing with all that stuff because I just don't feel like it. All right? So, whatever. I'm going to create a Patreon. It's going to be different than this. The Bengal Genius Show, I'm always going to be talking Bengals for free. That's not a problem. What I'm going to do is, on my channel, I do shorts where I talk a little trash, funny little videos here and there. Some are funny. Some are whatever. Some are beautiful. Some are emotional. Okay? It's a wide variety. $3 a month, and maybe at some point I can take my shirt off or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But regardless, look for that. But whatever, man. So, Carolina Panthers, I'm going to come back again this week, break that down, and see what the best approach is. Andy Dalton was on fire last week. And we'll see if he can just keep that up. So,
man, y'all need to start tuning in to the YouTube channel, The Bengals Genius Show.
And Hooter. Be sure to subscribe. Talk to you later.